And where did you hear that Massachusetts residents play daily fantasy sports more than anyone else?
That was with an expert on fantasy on a conference call yesterday. Again, I did preface that by saying we are just starting to get smart on this issue.
The tipping point, I think, was triggered by NFL football, which occasioned this mass advertising campaign, and this problem of this guy at DraftKings who bet on FanDuel. You know, those two things together caused this to be the tipping point where all of a sudden policymakers have to figure out what to do.
In most industries, it's pretty difficult to regulate yourself, especially in a situation like this where you really need people to have confidence in what you're doing.
What was the thing you were concerned about crushing the industry? Was it taxing? Was it regulation? What's the thing that you would be concerned about really hurting the industry?
Either one. I mean, either coming in a very heavy and expensive regulatory environment, or imposing a tax on their gross revenues as opposed to a tax on their net revenues, would have the potential to be really harmful to the industry. Now, if that's what you want to do, fine, but you don't want to do it by accident. You got to do it knowing what you're doing and do it on purpose.
I mean, the fact is this industry is not brick and mortar casinos. It's conducted in a completely different manner, skill-based nature of it. So I think we would be concerned about imposing a regulatory construct onto this industry that was really developed for brick and mortar casinos. I think, as the chairman pointed out, something that's different than what is necessary to ensure consumer protection for people who play daily fantasy.
We don't think there should be a radical change of the competitive landscape without the casinos being able to be at the table. Now, I don't know if this is a radical change of the competitive landscape, so I don't know whether they should be at the table. But I think it is just a fundamental principle that you invite people in, you give them these licenses, they pay you $85 million for the license, and then they invest upwards of hundreds of millions to hundreds to billions of dollars. You can't pull the rug out from under them without them at least having a chance to talk, if what you're talking about doing is a radical change, and I don't know that this is yet.
And I think that there's clearly a realization. I would refer you again back to the statement from the CEO of FanDuel today. I think it's about where we go from here and making sure that there are appropriate consumer protections in place, working with states where appropriate, and building a model that works, that's sustainable for the industry, that's sustainable for the public, and sustainable for giving government confidence that the industry is being conducted in an appropriate way.
The Attorney General will be the first to say the laws are all over the place, and we're trying to figure out what's right and wrong within the existing laws, most of which were written and the case law done underneath it prior to this industry even existing. So it's kind of a mess.
There wasn't anything said here today that was particularly concerning to me. I think that they're going to engage in a process, and we look forward to being part of that process.
Thank you.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you.